Hello, everybody. We'll just get started and in maybe like 30 seconds or so. We'll just wait for a couple more people to log on. Thank you. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining in to our third session with Spotted Horse today. Again, my name is Chant Chang, and I'm the Executive Director of Diversity and Inclusion here at SprottJaw. I know people are zooming in from different parts of these lands. I'm personally coming in from traditional unceded ancestral territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh. And very, very happy to be here. I feel like this is a place where a lot of people and animals are working and playing. People are out and about. I live near a place called Trout Lake, and so there's always activity there with people, playing music and playing soccer or baseball, and so lots of activity. Reminds me how lucky we are to have uh, just be able to be on this land. So today is right now is our third session with Spotted Horse, and I'm really thrilled that Spotted Horse has agreed to join us in honor of Indigenous History Month, as well as last Friday's National Indigenous Peoples Day, and this is his third of four sessions with us, and this one is about gratitude. And just FYI, everybody, the session is being recorded, and if you have any questions, just drop it into the chat. We'll make sure that is taken care of at the towards the end of Spotted Horse's session. So Larry Spotted Horse Fenton is from Pavilion, also known as a Skwlax. I'm making sure that I say these things correctly. Indian Band in St'at'imc territory, and resides in Kamloops along with his wife Dakota Tomma from Skwlax Indian Band. And he is connected to the Kamloops Indian Band from his adopted dad, John Leonard. Spotted Horse is a really positive person who works with youth, children, people of all ages to experience Aboriginal pride, and he really encourages everyone to push themselves to be better versions of themselves, which I think he also holds himself to that as well. So thank you all so much for being here, and I'll turn it over now to Spotted Horse.
All right. Boom. White tip. Stuk Skaharas Quest. Hello everyone. My name is Spotted Horse. Um about the topic today, what we're going to be talking about, actually this session is going to be on gratitude. And I was actually really thinking about it basically since our last session, and man, oh man, I kind of think I was gearing myself up towards this, talking about, a lot of the things that to be grateful for in my life. And not only that, going through a realization. When I have visions and goals, when those visions and goals wanna try and get somewhere, there's always another part to it that actually helps it out a lot more. Is from myself is finding that when you have gratitude already for the lot of the things that you have in your life, more and more things come into your life. And they come into your life a lot more easier when you have gratitude for things you already have in your life. And being grateful for it. And when I was learning about that, about gratitude, I didn't realize how much it really meant in my life of having gratitude until all of a sudden one day I just started realizing, what I wanted to have gratitude for in my life. And another thing I want to bring up right now is I remembered the past couple of sessions, I kind of slipped my mind. I kind of wanted to make some of these sessions a little bit more interactive, just so that I notice that you guys are, so being able to, so see everything, hear everything, and be able to actually get some of the full effects of these sessions as well. So basically, what I'm going to ask right now is if in the chat, if I can get everyone, if you're in a big group, it is all good. You guys can just use that group name. Maybe, so a certain room, a certain person, maybe a teacher or something like that. Just quickly type in your name. Type in your name really quick, and then just push send. And then just so that I see that there is a lot of people that are out there that are actually, so getting a lot of this that I'm putting out there for everyone, most definitely. And I really appreciate a lot of you guys that are here today, most definitely. I'm very grateful, very thankful for a lot of you coming here and being a part of this as well. And most definitely, you know what? So, for myself, I, when I started learning about gratitude, I started realizing about a lot of different things that I was actually taking for granted. I took a lot of different things for granted that I didn't realize of what I had. And when I used to sit there and used to think about some of the things that I had in my life, I was like, oh, I got clothes, I got a vehicle, I got a house, I got shoes, uh, I have a drum, yeah. And then I was like, I don't know what else I have. And literally, it is way more than that. Way more. I have so much with me right now. I just, I can't express as to everyone about how much things I actually even have in my life today. And I'm always ever so grateful to actually have all these beautiful things in my life. A lot of people that I go out there and I talk to, I let them know, so here's one that we actually take for granted. I'm pretty sure a lot of us take for granted every day that is out there. If you actually don't practice gratitude, don't use gratitude in the right way. And I always try and use it in the right way so that more and more better things come into my life. So basically, I'm going to go with this right now. So, so if some of you guys that are out there, if you guys can actually just do one quick thing for me right now, grab your hands, hold them over your eyes, hold them over your eyes. And then when you do that, one thing that I'm going to ask you, what do you see? What do you see? Your hands covering your eyes are closed. What do you see? And a lot of the times, a lot of things of what you see, yeah, a lot of people will say it's dark, a lot of people will say it's black, a lot of people, I don't see anything, right? Because my hands are covering my eyes and I don't see anything. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you to take your hands off your eyes, open your eyes, and take the opportunity, if you have a window nearby, have a look out that window. Have a look out there and let me know. What do you see? What do you see out there? A lot of people's answers are going to end up being, oh man, I see beautiful trees. I see the beautiful mountain. I see, I see the beautiful blue sky. I see the beautiful sun. I see the lake. I see, right? And right there, because you held your hands over your eyes. Can you imagine if you weren't able to experience that? Can you imagine, right, what it would be like if you ended up becoming blind? Or if you were born blind, you didn't even get an opportunity to even see your mother, see your father, see see your relatives, right? See the beautiful mountains, see the beautiful sky. A lot of us take for granted about our visions, right? Our vision. And I love that so much. And I sit there and I put it out there so much, as much as I can on an everyday basis, being grateful, having gratitude to be able to at least see the things I get to see every day. Be grateful for having the opportunity to, so, see my mother, see my father, see my beautiful wife, see all my beautiful kids in my life, and everything else with that, right? I sit there and I love the opportunities of seeing some new and different wildlife out there that I never had the opportunity to see before, right? So, just the other day, I had a look outside there, and there was this woodpecker that was outside. I was like, man, we barely get those up here, but it was amazing to see. And I was ever so grateful to being able to have that opportunity to see one. So, there's one bird that's starting to come around here a lot more and a lot more often up here is the bald eagle. They're slowly coming up the Thompson River and they're actually making their way up here and being able to see them around here. Oh man, talk about a thing of beauty. Always ever so grateful to get such a beautiful blessing on a daily basis to be able to have that. So I sat there and I thought about it and I thought about it long and hard. I was like, wow, if it's your eyes, what else do we take for granted, right? So, I'm here. I'm able to actually speak to you guys. Man, I if I wasn't able to talk, I don't know how this would go, right? So most definitely, I'm always grateful for that. And I sit there and I think about people in different situations, different areas of their life, right? If you sit there and you take people, everyday people like you and me, everybody that's here on this Zoom meeting right now, and a lot of us, we have quite a bit of things in our life, materialistic things, right? And I sit there and I think about it, and I think about, so well, what do people that have a lot more challenges than us? What do they have? What do they have, right? And I was like, you know what? I think they still have not exactly the same amount of things as we do, but physically, they have just about as much things as we have, right? Some of them can still see, some of them can still hear, some of them can still talk, right? And most definitely, if they're in a challenging spot in their life, if they start giving a little bit of gratitude for being able to see still, for being able to speak, ah, and I remember this when I actually went through one of my challenges of separation with one of my exes, and I sat there and I never gave gratitude for all the things that I had. I felt like I lost a lot because part of my life went, right? And I was so angry, I was so mad, and I was so upset that I was like, oh, you know what? She left, she took everything. I don't have anything now. I have nothing. And I remember looking around trying to find what I still had. And meanwhile, for myself, it took me a long time to realize at that time and moment, I still had a lot because I still have a lot of things I did not give gratitude for on a daily basis. And now I give myself gratitude every single day because more and more things come into my life when I give gratitude for all the things that I have in my life. And this is how I do it. And this is what I wanted to share with you guys right here. And if a lot of you guys could see that right there, and if some of you guys, in the chat, so, put in there, what is this? What is this? What is this right here? If you actually type out in the chat, what do you think it is? I'd love to see some of your answers for what this is right here. A lot of people say, of course, what it really is, it's jade. Yes, it is jade. Definitely is. It is a rock. Yes, it is a rock. And for myself, I actually call it my gratitude rock. I call it my gratitude rock. I use it every single day of my life. Ever since I learned about gratitude, I use that every single day. This is one of the tools that I use on a daily basis. Every single day, I use it. And the one way that always reminds me how to use it, I have this on my bedside table. When I wake up in the morning, I get dressed, I get everything on, I make sure, so after when I get dressed, I have to grab this and I have to pick it up. I grab it, I pick it up, and right away, as soon as I grab it and I pick it up, I start saying things that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for my beautiful vision, for the things I'm about to see today. I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak, to say the things that need to be said. I'm grateful for, the opportunities that are coming around for not only myself, for a lot of people out there. And I'm grateful for, for some people out there that are going through challenges that it's not as challenging as it could be. And going with that right there, uh, challenging right there. So, one of my mentors actually taught me something a little bit more different. And when I was going through my separation, I remember I used to tell him, "Oh man, life is so hard. This is so hard. Oh, I can't believe I'm going through this. This is so hard to go through this. Oh, it's very hard. I don't like this, how hard life is right now." And he brought up to me, he was like, "Wow, you say that word with such passion." And I was like, "What? What word? What word are you talking about?" He goes, "You're using that word hard with such passion that when you put it out there, that's basically, that is what you're getting, is that you're getting life as hard as it can be because you're using that word with such passion. But if I can suggest, and if I can ask you, if you could change that word." I sat there and I was like, "Oh, I can't, I don't know. I don't know. Life's just hard right now, and that's what it is." And he sat there and he goes, "Well, if you hear this word, you might actually want to go with it and change it." And I sat there and I thought, okay, yeah, sure. Maybe I'll hear what you're gonna say, right? So he goes, "You using that word hard. It's like a rock right here, right? It's like a rock right there. It's hard. You can't get through it, right? It's hard, very hard." Done right. And he goes, "Change that word to challenging, right? Change it to challenging. Instead of using hard, life is just challenging." And when you use challenging, challenging actually makes your mind actually even realize that you can go over it, you can go around it, you can even go under it. You can always make it through, no matter what. So instead of using that word hard, you change it from hard to challenging. Man, oh man, things in your life, when you go through challenges in your life, it's going to make it seem so much more better than using that word hard. Because when you use that word hard, like he said, my mentor, he sat there and he said that, yeah, when you put it out there and you put it out there, life's going to be hard. Oh, darn right. Because you're the one that's putting it out there. And another one of my mentors said that no matter what, even if you do use some of those words, a lot more positivity words, those are 90% stronger than the negative words are. But still, I sit there and I think about it. I'm like, man, I want nothing but positive. So no matter what, I still change that word to challenging because I know I'm still going to, no matter what, succeed, whether if it's today, whether if it's tomorrow, whether if it's a week or even a year, right? Most definitely. Um, a lot of different things out there that actually came up to me and so helped me through a lot of different learnings and a lot of different teachings that I am ever so grateful for to have in my life. That one was one of them right there, was about having a lot more gratitude in my life and actually putting this to work. And then the same thing when I go to bed, I got to take it out of my pocket and I got to put it on my bedside table. I take it out, I grab it, I hang on to it, and I say what I'm grateful for in my life. And that's the same time after I do everything for gratitude, after all that was said and done, I say a prayer. I say a prayer not only for myself, I say a prayer for my family. I say a prayer for the people that are out there that ask for prayers, people that need prayers, people that are out there going through challenges on the street, people that are connected with 215, people that are connected with MMIW, people that are, on an everyday basis going through challenges in their life. And that's kind of what I say prayers for. And when I say prayers and I have gratitude for a lot of different things out there, a lot more better things still always come into my life, a lot more. Days seem brighter. The days get brighter and brighter every single day, and I can't get over it. I'm like, man, oh man. I used to remember, so I was one of those guys that always seen a gloomy day out there and it was cloudy, and I was like, you know what? No, it's just another day. It's another day like yesterday. It's another day. And then when the sun came out, I was like, oh, it's a nice day, right? And no matter what, I changed that. Every single day is a beautiful day. Our creator, our ancestors out there, for some reason or another, put that in our life. They put the cloud up there because there's somebody out there that needs shade. They made it rain. They made the rain come down. And the reason why the rain came down is because our salmon need it. And if our salmon need the rain, our salmon need the rain because they need to spawn. Because if our waters are too warm, they're not going to spawn. And if they're too warm, they're not going to travel up that river. And they're not going to be able to come all the way up the Fraser River and spawn. And that was a pretty big lesson right there that I ended up getting the opportunity of learning from an elder of mine that was telling me, you know what? Our salmon count is actually going down every single year. And I sat there and remember I told him, I was like, man, I'm going to start saying prayers for our salmon, saying prayers for our people, and being grateful for that cloud in the sky, being grateful for the rain when the rain comes down, you know, and looking at it in a lot more positive sense than I did before, right? I used to think, oh, it's a cloudy day, it's not a good day, it's not very good, I don't feel good, and man, I hope tomorrow's going to be sunny. I hope it's going to be a lot more better tomorrow. And I used to always say that, and I used to say it a lot. And instead, I retracted everything that I said in the past. And now I'm starting to look at brighter days, beautiful days. It's not just, like I said before, it's not just a Friday, Saturday, Sunday that's beautiful when it's a sunny day out. It's every single day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday is a beautiful day because there is a reason why that is actually happening out there right now. And not only that, a lot of different things. So, come with gratitude when you give gratitude out there. So, you make certain connections with certain people and you surround yourself with the right kind of people, right? If you give gratitude for, so, for me, I chant, right? Making that connection right there. And then it's going to gain me a lot more connection with a lot more other people out there. Most definitely. I'm very grateful to get that as well. And so, there's other people out there that I all of a sudden I go to this event here in Kamloops and I'm kind of thinking, yeah, I'll go out there, I'll check it out, I'll see what it's about. And I really don't want to go, but I just go anyway. And when I make that effort, make that presence made, I go there and then next thing you know, I end up meeting somebody that's actually really involved in, so, positive thinking, positive, and they have the same mindset that I have. and we get to connect, we get to share, and we're sharing different ideas, sharing different stories and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, if I didn't come out here today, I wouldn't have actually met this awesome person right here to be able to connect and be able to share and have all this awesome energy right here within our stories. And when I used to do that, I used to sit there and so same thing again, right? Pull that stone out. Wherever I'm at, I give gratitude as soon as that happens in my life. Yes, thank you for letting that person come into my life. I kind of think it was meant to be that they actually showed up at this event right here the same time I did. And we connected and we started talking, we started sharing, and we had this beautiful conversation. And then next thing you know, out of that comes another possibility of having another workshop to do somewhere up north, right? And I thought that was great. That was amazing. And I was like, yes, man, oh man. So a lot of it goes with not only gratitude, but always thinking positive about a lot of things that you do out there every single day. So, and when I think positive about the person that actually came into my life. I think positive thoughts for them because no matter what, if they actually didn't come and share some of those stories with me, I wouldn't have had that opportunity to actually make that beautiful connection that I did right then and there. And having that opportunity of getting that story is sometimes I may not get it to share with other people that I get to meet out there as well. So most definitely having gratitude is such a huge thing. And my other thing is what I always like to do is I always like to write all my gratitude down, what I have gratitude for in my life. Because if I don't acknowledge it, I take it for granted. I don't want to take anything for granted in my life. I want to acknowledge everything that I have in my life. As long as I acknowledge it, I'm okay with it. The only thing is when I do my gratitude in the morning and the evening, I keep that totally separate from my prayer. I just give gratitude for some of the really, really big things that I think make a difference in everybody's life. One of them, of course, was what I just went over with you, vision. Vision is huge. Vision is big. Because if you and I couldn't see each other today, man, oh man, can you imagine what that would be like? Or even being able to see any of the kinds of words that you need to say to somebody, or even hear. Can you imagine? So, if you had that opportunity right now, if you had that opportunity to take one of your senses away, what sense would you actually take away? Right? Can I see it in the chat? Can I see it in the chat? Does anybody have any right here? Put in the chat. Out of all your senses that you have, which one would you actually take away from yourself if you had that opportunity to? So, somebody said that you're going to live without one of your senses for one day. What sense would that be, right? What sense do you not want to have for one day? And this is what you're going to experience, right? And I sit there and I think about that and I'm like, oh man, oh man. I I, I can't think of any of my senses that I want to give up for a day. I love all my senses. I love being able to feel. I love being able to, oh man, yeah, yeah, smell is a big one too, right? Right? Oh man, sense of care. There we go. Right? But not having that opportunity to go out there and smell the roses. And one of the biggest ones that actually really affected me in my time was that each time I had one of my newborn kids, right? A lot of people they love that smell of a newborn baby. I was like, oh man, that really affected me for my kids. And I was like, wow, if I took that sense of smell away, I wouldn't know what it was like. I wouldn't be able to have that full experience of actually giving that up. A lot of people say a sense of touch, give up the sense of touch. Man, you give up the sense of touch, you're not going to be able to know what it feels. if it feels rough, if it feels, so, if it's going to hurt you, right? So, some people say that one of your other senses, right? So, man, sense of hearing. I don't want to hear anybody anymore. That's it. I'm done. Well, you know what? You just gave up the most three beautiful words out there that actually come from one of your kids, come from your mother, come from your father, right? I love you. Oh man, I sat there and I was like, oh, I can't even, okay, I don't want to give that up. And then I started thinking, well, what else can I give up, right? And I thought about it long and hard. Well, what if I don't want to give up my sight. I don't want to give up my smell. I don't want to give up my sense of touch. I don't want to give up my sense. And then after a while, I was like, I don't want to give anything up. And then my mentor was saying, well, you see, a lot of us every single day, a lot of us take it for granted on a daily basis. A lot of us don't give gratitude for the things that we have. And if we actually just lost it just like that, that would be it. So I sat there and I started having gratitude for that, something small. Then I started having gratitude for my vehicle, for my house. And then after a while, I started realizing at first it was just a roof over my head. That's what I was grateful for, having that roof over my head. This is when I lived in an apartment. Just me and my son were living there after my separation, right? I was like, well, I'm not going to call it a home. I'm not going to call it a house. It's just an apartment. So as long as we have a roof over our head, that's what I'm going to call it. So I give gratitude for that. And when I gave gratitude for that, I started thinking, I was like, wow, can you imagine if I give gratitude for that? What else is going to come into my life? Things got bigger. Things got better. I all of a sudden got a bigger house. And then next thing you know, I sat there and I gave gratitude for even my vehicle that I drive, right? And then it got better and it got better and it got better and it got better. When I first owned a vehicle, it was actually just a puddle jumper, right? That's all I did was it ran from point A to point B. I never used to actually give that car gratitude at all. And then when I didn't do that, oh man, I had the biggest problems ever with that car. When I first owned it, I was like, okay, now I got to give it an oil change. Now I got to change this I got to change the spark plugs. I got to change this, right? And then after a while, I started thinking, wow, I'm grateful to have this. Because the one time I remember with my kids, we were living in the apartment, me and my two oldest kids. We were supposed to go for a walk, minus 30-degree weather up here in Kamloops. And we started walking, we're covered right up from head to toe, everything except for our eyes, right? We're walking all the way to the store. We get to the store, we buy all our groceries, all our food, and we start packing them all the way home. We're coming home and we have to stop because we're getting tired, we're getting exhausted because the groceries are heavy. And I sat there and I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh man, uh, I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna have the gratitude to be mobile. And I want to have a lot more opportunity to be a lot more mobile in my life. Because if I don't have gratitude for being mobile in my life, things can get worse. Things can be a lot more worse than they really are. So I start giving myself gratitude for being able to actually even walk to the store and walk home. But in the same sense, I wanted to give gratitude for my future car. Because I was like, yes, I need something. I don't care what it is. I want a car that drives from point A to point B. I don't care if it has AC. I don't care as long as it runs. That's all I want. Runs and has heat. And sure enough, like a month later, I ended up getting myself a car. The car was actually given to me. I went and I actually worked with this one guy, and he sat there and he goes, "Do you have a car?" I was like, "No, I work and I bus. I bus to work every day." And he sat there and he goes, "You know what? I got a little four-cylinder car that's just sitting in my house. Do you want it?" I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, "What? Do I want it? What do you mean, do I want it?" He goes, "I'm going to give it to you." You're gonna give me a car? You're gonna give me a car? I was like, really? I was like, you don't want anything for it? He was like, no. I notice that you're busing every single day to here. And I notice that you don't have a vehicle to actually make your way to work every single day. And I was like, oh, I'd love to have a car. I'd love to have a car because, so, catching the bus isn't the greatest thing. Walking to the store with my kids, we're all packing groceries in minus 30-degree weather, and it was so cold on some of those days that I remember, I remember it like it was yesterday because we ended up stopping. Even though the walk was probably in the summertime, probably a 20-minute walk, not even. We ended up stopping 4 times just to take a break because of how cold it was. And we actually had to, so, almost kind of like I had my other two kids, I had them, let's kind of huddle a little bit so we can warm up a little bit, right? On our walk, and it was so cold. So getting that opportunity and being given thanks for even things in the future actually really do help. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I actually even use this for this right here. I give thanks and I give, so, a lot of credit and a lot of gratitude towards Echant, so, for bringing me on here. Sprott Shaw, man, oh man, ever so grateful for that, right? Basically this right here. This is one of the first of many. One of the first of many. I already got people actually already asking me to go up north. I got people asking me, so, to come right here in Kamloops, to actually go and visit them here in Kamloops. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, wow, I put it out there. I give gratitude and thanks for a lot of my past learnings, for a lot of my past teachings. And not only that, for my lessons from my mentors. Some of my mentors used to talk to me and tell me that, so, sometimes you have to exactly hit rock bottom in order to start climbing that big mountain that you need to climb. And I sat there and never understood that. I was always like, well, I hit rock bottom. What do you mean? I'm going to lose everything? I'm going to go down to nothing? I'm going to be homeless? And I didn't realize it until all of a sudden it happened with me. Actually, just before this actually happened right here, right? So, I didn't have a job. I didn't have an income. I didn't have this coming. I didn't have that coming. And I sat there and I kept thinking about it. I kept thinking about it. I kept doubting myself as well. I had those past doubts in my head. I was like, no, no, it's not going to come. It's not going to happen. And then luckily, a lot of stuff that I had the opportunity of learning, I sat there and in the past, I actually taught it to my partner as much as I could. And then she sat there and she turned around, she came to me and she was like, you know what? You got to start thinking that you're going to do this. I'm not even worried about anything. I'm not worried about bills. I'm not worried about this. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about our house. We're going to be fine. We're going to be okay with life. And I sat there and right away I was like, oh, yes, I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that. Even though I sit there and I teach these kind of things, I put them out there, right? Man, oh man, sometimes it doesn't matter how much you drill it up here. Sometimes you got to remember it again. You got to remember it again because if you forget it, you let it slip, somebody's going to have to come and actually remind you again. And I'm ever so grateful to have that opportunity with my wife telling me because this came around because there was another workshop that's coming around here in Kamloops. There's another one that's happening up in North. And I'm like, yes, man, oh man, I'm ever so grateful for this. I'm ever so grateful for all my opportunities. I'm ever so grateful for the people that I have in my life, right? Yes. So with that, so there's a lot of different things that you can actually put gratitude towards. And it doesn't matter, like I said, when the people are actually out on the street, they feel like they have nothing. They don't have nothing. They have a lot. They have a lot, just like you and I do. They have a lot of physical things that maybe they need to start giving gratitude for, right? If some people may learn this, some people may actually be able to actually even, so started actually realizing, well, if I give gratitude for this, if I give gratitude for that, maybe that will actually come more into my life. That will come in. And it does. It does happen. It's actually happened to me. I don't know how many times throughout the time I've been given gratitude for my car, given gratitude for my work, given gratitude for the people in my life, right? Um, One of them is one of my mentors out there, truly amazing man. So, he talked a lot about certain things about gratitude, and some of the things that he talked about was that when if there wasn't anything for gratitude, nothing will evolve, nothing will come of it, nothing will, right? And I sat there and I used to always think like, what do you mean it won't evolve, it won't happen, right? And I started putting things together for things that happen in my life that I was giving gratitude for. And he talked about a lot of different things out there. Like he talked about his work, he talked about a lot of the people in his life that he had in his life. And then he brought up a fact that he was raised by a different man that wasn't his father. And he sat there and he started actually giving gratitude for his stepdad. He never had the opportunity to meet his father. He he really wished for it. He really wanted it to happen in his life. He started actually going out there and speaking to different people. And actually on one of his journeys that he went to this community and he talked to people there. He talked about his dad. He talked about his name, his full name, on where he was from. He talked about his brothers and sisters. He talked about his past, a lot about his past. He talked about, so, his mother's last name in which he was carrying. And he goes, and I think my other name would have been this name. And he brought up this other guy's name that was out in a crowd. And he didn't realize that that was actually his son that was actually up there speaking. And so he sat there and he kind of put two and two together. He walked right on up to this boy after everything was all said, and he asked him, he goes, is this your mother? And he said the name of his mother. And that boy sat there and he's shocked and he looked back and he was like, yeah, that is my mother. And he sat there and he goes, I was actually with your mother at one point in time. And yes, my last name is Thompson. And he sat there and he was like, what? Oh my God. Oh my God. I never thought that this would actually happen in a million years, that I would actually get the opportunity of meeting my real father. And then right from that moment on, him and his father have been like this. And now, because of that story, he actually brings his father with him. They actually both go traveling. Him and his father are actually really, really successful at doing this kind of stuff, all this kind of work that they do. He actually ended up teaching his father a lot of different things that he learned to go out there and speak with a lot of different people out there. And then from there, now they both share that story as much as they can. And I thought that was totally, totally great. I was like, wow, man, oh man, that is ever so amazing to hear that story. That he started giving gratitude for, that was actually missing in his life. And I was ever so grateful to hear that story. Yes. So I don't know. So I want to ask, how's everybody doing so far? There we go. There we go. Yes. Anybody want to actually give me an update in the chat? How's everyone doing? There we go. We got it good. Nice, nice. Right on, Troy. Right on. Amazing. And you know what? So, coming from that, feeling grateful. Yes, there we go. Oh, amazing, amazing. And so, like I said before, into the words of feeling positive, right? Not always easy to take your own advice. Yes, right, right. Done right, done right. It's not always easy to take your own advice for sure, man. But most definitely, so for myself, being on this healing journey, right? And basically for a lot of things that I've had the opportunity to go through. So, I went through sweat lodges. I'm on my going to be on my 4th year this year of going up and doing my vision quest up in the mountain. And so, and when I went up there, oh man, some of the opportunities that I had when I was up there, I had this amazing time up there. My first time going up, I went up there. I closed my eyes and just breathing in that fresh mountain air when I was up there up in the mountain, having that opportunity to be able to bring that in. And then after that, having the opportunity to be able to sing some songs. Um, I did have other opportunities of seeing different things, but for some of my mentors out there, some of them say, that is yours. That is yours to keep, yours to hold on to. So some of the other opportunities that I had up there, so for some of the other things that I got to see, I try and do my best to try and keep it with me, because he goes, don't share it, don't put it out there, because when you share it, you lose a part of it. So if you hang on to it for yourself, because going up there and doing your vision quest up there in the mountain, that was actually meant for you and for you only. So I was really grateful for that. And uh, learning a lot about gratitude from him as well. So when I went through some of my challenges with one of my past partners, he actually sat there and he goes, you know what? If you ever feel like things are getting challenging in your life, be grateful for this opportunity. He goes, you have the opportunity to go outside right now. And I was like, what? I'm in an apartment building. He goes, yeah, go outside. Go and actually take your shoes and your socks off. Let your feet touch the ground. Get connected. Feel connected with Mother Earth. Feel that connection right there. Mother Earth has a lot to give you. A lot of us take even a lot of that for granted. Being able to connect with Mother Earth and feeling grounded every single day. Um, One thing I'm going to bring up right here is not only saying my gratitude in the morning. One of my mentors always used to always tell me, if you want to win the day, win the first hour. I was like, win the first hour? How am I going to win the first hour? What do I got to do to win the first hour? Right? And he sat there and he goes, right here, these things right here, right? Your phone. Don't touch that. Don't touch your phone for the first hour. Learn to ground yourself. Learn to think about a lot of different things in your mind for yourself first. Take care of yourself. You wake up, you get up in the morning, look after you, nothing but you. Because if you get that chance to actually look after you, a lot of different things out there that actually are being said on here, you'll be able to take with a lot more ease. And I sat there and I was like, man, I don't understand that. I was like, that's all I do is I check the time, but I get up and I do my own stuff. But now all I do is I just let it sit there. And then I take the time to actually ground myself. I take the time to go and take care of myself, have a shower, so wake up. And then from there I go and I even do a smudge. I smudge myself off to feel a lot more better. I get myself grounded with Mother Earth. And then I come in and I have a look at my phone. And when I do that, I have a lot more sense up here to be able to communicate with a lot more people out there and say what I need to say rather than taking a lot of their things into my head and being upset about them, being aggressive with them, right? Or feeling that sorrow, feeling that sadness. Instead, I can say, you know what? I don't exactly know what you're feeling, but most definitely I'm going to be able to, I'm going to say some prayers for you and I hope your day gets better. Yes. So most definitely one more session after this. Thank you guys very much for being here. It's been truly amazing, truly amazing. I do have a lot more stuff for the last session, a lot more stuff like this right here, in which I've been kind of putting aside for the last session. I had to throw that one in there because of all the more stuff that I do have that I want to actually put out there, most definitely. Because a lot more stuff that I have that I want to put out there for you guys. Who knows, it may be something that you guys are going to be able to connect with. And I thank you guys very much for being here. Cook Stetchum. Always ever so grateful for you guys. Cook you chant. Yes. Thank you.
Quick jam to you, Spotted Horse. I really appreciate this and feeling a lot of gratitude for sure for just getting to know you over the last little while and that you were able to be here today with us, leading us with your wise words and just, yeah, so grateful for you as a person and for this relationship and for your willingness to share. Really, it's been beautiful. And yes, everybody, please join us for our last session. And I hope that we'll be able to come together and bring a lot of the stories that Spotted Horse has shared with us so far. And if there's anything else, please let us know if you have any other questions or anything.
Yes, most definitely. Anybody have any questions, any comments? Most definitely.
Okay, well, let's leave it at that then. And Spotted Horse,
Right.
we will see you at 7 o'clock tonight.
Yes. Perfect. Right
Sounds
on.
good.
Looking
Okay,
forward to it.
me
Yes.
too.
All
All
right.
right, take care. See you then.
Yes. Yes. Moichin.